Hi everyone, welcome back to Lights On Podcast. My name is Tiana if you're new here, and this is my co-host.
Joshua Anthony. Anthony Joshua.
Anthony Joshua.
Brian.
So Brian, what did you want to talk about today?
I was going to talk about limiting beliefs, like when your head's not on your side. Just getting stuff done in general, because I find that a lot of people struggle with it. So I don't know about yourself, but in my life I used to have these limiting beliefs, specifically around even like my body and my finances, or even just success in general, like mad imposter syndrome. And like somehow over the years they've just all disappeared.
I feel like you've accomplished that through action though, like you haven't allowed those thoughts to hold you back, whereas majority of people do.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what's different between me and the majority of people. Because I've got a mate, he goes to the gym, and he was telling me like his head talk while he's in the gym. He's like, oh no, I'm too fat, I shouldn't be here. Like this is mid-set, you should just give up, you can't finish, you can't do this amount of weight for this many reps. I was like, what?
That's crazy.
But I was like, yeah, that's crazy. I was like, shit, my head's completely different. My head's like, nah, you better do this. If you don't do this, you're gay. Like, you can't go out this weekend if you finish this. If you finish this now, you get to treat yourself like it's just all positive, eh?
Yeah, but like I feel like some of that self-talk is negative, but it's negative in a way that pushes you to achieve.
It's all, yeah. In my eyes, it's all positive.
Yeah. I have a lot of, I have and I had previously a lot of negative self-talk. And I've had to do a lot of emotional work to be able to alleviate those thoughts.
Yeah, what type of emotional work?
Well, it's the same thing, like, I mean, it's essentially just healing work. So the way I do my own healing work and how I transcend is through the emotional body. So my entire life, everyone said to me, I am so emotional and I'm so moody and I'm very, very fiery.
Yeah.
And everything was to the extreme, because I would go through times where I'm suppressing and repressing because I wanted to try and fit into the mold of what people expected me to be like.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't hold it in, so it would just boom, it would come out like an explosion. So that is what pushed me to go. You haven't even seen me explode, buddy. Count yourself lucky.
Nah, I was thinking of a different type of explosion. Nah, keep going.
Oh, ew! What type of explosion?
Keep going.
Gross.
Keep going.
Mate, this is meant to be a PG show, buddy.
It is PG.
But yeah, so the way I transcend things is through feeling. So I'll feel the emotion. And so my theory is that, well, it's not even really a theory, I've seen it. So thoughts are fueled by the emotion. So it's what energizes the thoughts and it's what keeps them alive, essentially. So emotion stands for energy in motion. It's energy in motion that's keeping them alive. Because we suppress and we repress the emotion, it creates stagnation in the mind and keeps those thoughts there.
Yeah.
So essentially all you have to do is, in order to trigger the emotion, because usually the emotions are attached, when you have those thoughts, it brings up that emotion. So with your friend, it might be shame, it might feel low self-worth, insignificant, small, all of those emotions he'd be feeling whilst he's thinking those thoughts. So essentially use the thoughts to trigger the emotion into the body, and as soon as you can feel the emotion in the body, you shut the mind off and you put all focus onto your body and the feeling that you're feeling inside of it. And it's the strangest things, because you can actually feel the emotion transcending upwards out, and then you can feel it exiting through your head. It's like really, really strange. Once you clear the emotion, then you get the wisdom from the emotion, because emotion also carries wisdom through it.
Yeah.
But if you don't allow it to flow through naturally, then you never get the wisdom. So that's how I transcended a lot of limiting beliefs. But my hardest one to transcend is always fear-based beliefs.
Yeah.
So like with anger I can do, sadness I can do really easily, jealousy, all of those other ones I can do super easily, but fear makes me just want to go into fight or flight and just run. So
what type of fear? What type of, like, fear? Scared of snakes? Scared of...
No, not even like that. Like things that like don't even make sense, that are completely illogical.
Yeah.
So like fear, like So a lot of things that happen within our childhood that we have experienced as traumatic create like a fear-based response, where you essentially will either flight, fawn, or freeze. I freeze, or I'll just run away and I'll ignore it and won't confront it. But there's been a lot of times in my life where I've had to just put myself out there, and I've transcended a lot. Like, this house doesn't look like much, but it was like
this is a nice house. This is an amazing. It's better than mine. I don't have a house.
Yeah, but I mean, I rent. But even for me to be able to like have enough courage to even apply for it, like I had the limiting beliefs that I'd never get something like this. Like,
by the way, the application process for this house was like extensive and rigorous, and she was competing against a lot of people.
There was so many people, and they were putting on like the biggest show at the like viewing and stuff, and I was like, is this what you have to do at the moment? And there were couples. I'm single, so it's a single wage. Whereas like couples who probably were making double the amount that I make, so it was big. But I did use visualization, so like I visualized myself putting the keys into the door and stuff, and I kept holding that image like every single day, so that was a big part for me. And then I just got my new car, which I've never had a brand new car. No one in my immediate family has ever had a brand new car. We had shit boxes like worth like $500.
Her car's nice too, eh?
Yeah, I took Brad for a cruise last night. It's 7 speeds. It's got 7 speeds. It's turbo. It has a sunroof as well.
Has a sunroof. Bro, you should see the head unit is actually like full like an iPad, just on the car. I was like, that's crazy.
And it's got JBL subs in it as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's worth it. But my plan is just to smash out my payments. I want to have that car paid off in a year, which will be probably around the $50,000 mark, but I'll be able to do it. Yeah, true.
So you go through a lot of emotional releases, and you said you struggle with fear that are irrational but are stemmed from trauma in childhood. So, for example, for my friend, what do you think the best way for him to get through that negative self-talk while he's training would be? Would that be to start delving back?
I wouldn't do it through training. So some things that you have to be, in order to transcend, you have to do it through action.
Yeah.
So, and then once you've completed the action, it starts to create the neural pathways in the brain that you can actually do it, right?
So what type of action?
There's other things, like what your friend's doing. Your friend's already doing the action, it's not doing anything.
Yeah.
He has to do it through the emotional body.
Yeah.
So, like it sounds so gay, but literally you just go, it's a super vulnerable state to be in, hey, because it's very exposing, so most people would not want to do it with anyone around them.
Yeah.
I have never done it around anyone else, because like some of the shit, like some of the releases have been super primal, like really, really primal, like cries that I've never heard before in my life, like have come out of me and stuff like that. And some of the releases have been for hours, like especially when I was dealing with the release of my mum when she passed away.
Yeah.
But if I was him, I would literally just lay down in my bed. I'd trigger the thoughts that he's been thinking, and then I would feel the emotion, exactly what I just said to do.
Yeah.
I'd feel the emotion, and then I would just keep focusing on the body without the mental interfering until I can literally feel that it's emptying out of my system. And then what's going to happen is he's going to find, when he goes back and he starts doing that action again, that those thoughts are no longer going to plague him, because there's no emotional charge left within the emotional or physical body system to allow them to be sustained.
Yeah.
People think that our thoughts are our own, but they are not. People think that our beliefs are our own, but they are not. They're programmed. Our brains are supercomputers. Our bodies are also like, I don't know, supercomputers, they essentially are. Where else are going to go with this? Yeah, I don't know.
That they're not, our thoughts are not our own. So when you...
our thoughts are not our own. Yeah.
When you think something...
It's not unique to yourself.
Because your brain and your body is a supercomputer that...
They work in...
tangent.
Yes. And the body is what produces the energy, and the emotion is like the energy that keeps the mind alive, essentially. If you think about it, the body can stay alive if the brain is dead. but the brain cannot stay alive
if the body's dead.
if the heart stops working,
Yeah.
which pumps the energy, the blood through the system. So we're not our brains, we're the consciousness, we're the energy within it. And so the emotion is also the consciousness. Do you know what I mean? It's a fuel. It's a fuel.
It's a little cycle.
Yeah.
That's so interesting because I've done these releases as well. Now that you've triggered my memories, and they are intense. So when I said I used to have a lot of limiting beliefs, and somehow I'm like out of it, I remembered I've done hella. Not as to the extent of you, not like crying for hours, but I have like sat, lie down, feel everything, but it was guided. It was more so you don't just feel everything. It was more like you'll breathe deep with your nose, out through the mouth by like long breaths, and then you want to picture or visualize all that shit inside, all that darkness, all those things that you're trying to repress or get rid of. You just visualize them inside your body and then leaving, and then you visualize like the sun or like God or whatever you want to believe in. The source coming through your body, and like just that cycle repeating itself.
Wow, that's so cool, Brian. I never knew you were so deep.
Shut up. I can't tell you it's joking, eh?
No, straight out.
Nah, yeah, so I don't know.
No, straight out. Maybe I was included.
But yeah, back, that was when I was a teenager. So I was like 17, 15.
You're actually so wise. It's so impressive because you're so young.
Yeah, it was interesting. No, I had to.
No, you didn't have to because most people don't do it. There's fucking 60, 70-year-olds walking around and they've never faced anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, for you to even have the wisdom that that's something that you need to do in order to progress in your life is like so impressive.
Yeah, true.
No, you should be so proud of yourself.
I was watching videos
about telling you to do that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but you need to take the action to do it. Like, it's like...
No, you have to.
It's impressive. You do, you have to. You can't run away from things. You have to confront them.
Like, with even taking the action, with anything, I believe that if you learn something or read something, take immediate action, because that's the only way to internalize it.
Well, I want to know how to get through procrastination, because that's something that I've struggled with.
Procrastination?
Yeah.
Procrastination is one of those, we need time to think of a proper response. Because we've talked about procrastination before.
Yeah, but I feel like we're in a different mental right now, so...
In the spiritual, emotional side of things, procrastination is one of those things that is stemmed from a lot of fear. So and you already know this, so if you doubt yourself, I don't believe you can do it, you're not gonna try to do it 100%.
Yeah.
So as long as that fear and that doubt in your head, kind of like that imposter syndrome is in there, you're never gonna you're pretty much just gonna avoid it, which is procrastination in the first place.
Yeah, it's fight or flight. Yeah.
So as soon as you can start believing in yourself, truly believing in yourself, you can do positive affirmations, but you don't truly believe in yourself at that point.
Exactly.
As soon as you do truly believe in yourself, and you already know this, as soon as you're aligned to that thing, it becomes easy, as you explained to me in the past.
Yeah, I want to kind of bring in the fact of the nervous system into all of this, because we're consistently talking about fight or flight. You're talking about the way that you transmuted some of your limiting beliefs through, breathing deep breaths through the nose and through the mouth, which automatically puts you into I always get these two mixed up. One of them is the sympathetic nervous system, and one of them is the parasympathetic nervous system. Actually, I should just Google it. So I can be accurate and not just feel like one of them means that you're calm and one of them doesn't mean.
Yeah.
Parasympathetic.
So one of them is the fight or flight, or it's pretty much your, amygdala?
Okay, yeah, so the parasympathetic nervous system is when you're relaxed and you're operating optimally and everything is cohesive, and it's the state that we should always be in at all times.
Yeah.
We work with two dudes who can't breathe through their noses, and they are the most ADHD, hyperactive dudes, always edgy, always constantly jittery and stuff like that. And I always tell them it's because you can't actually breathe through your nose, because you
Yeah.
As I was saying about these two dudes, like I was saying to them, it's because you literally cannot breathe through your noses, so you don't actually have the ability to soothe your nervous system and bring yourself back into the parasympathetic state. So you're constantly in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn.
Yeah.
But I also had this crazy realization when I was going through the process of purchasing my car, right? It's the biggest purchase I've ever made in my life.
Yeah.
It's the first real adult purchase that I've ever made in my life. And I remember going through the whole process and like mentally thinking, oh, I hope this is the right choice. But in my body, I felt nothing. My nervous system, and I'm very aware of my body, and I'm always looking out for nervous system activation.
Yeah.
Always. So when I was going through that, and I remember thinking there's no activation of my nervous system at all. I wasn't excited, but I wasn't anxious. And then it made me remember that anxiousness and excitement are both nervous system activations.
Yeah.
Excitement puts you into fight, flight, fawn, or freeze, and we don't realize it. So our program, and especially like I was kind of putting this back into like, well, it's any major choices that you make. If you're excited about something, it's usually not a good thing. I know that sounds so counterintuitive.
It does.
It does sound counterintuitive, but your nervous system's been activated, which means it senses danger. So, yeah, and we've got this confused and we think that excitement is a good thing, but you really think about it, when you're in a state of hyper excitement, your energy output is so intense. It's physically draining. And we confuse it as a positive thing because anxiousness feels so much different, but they both have the same reaction internally within the body system. And then I was thinking about when you are dating someone or you meet someone and you're super excited, this and that, when you really reflect on it, and those relationships are usually quite intense and quite passionate and quite short-lasting. And if they're not short-lasting, they become quite toxic if they're long-lasting. And then it made me realize, because I remember thinking about this years ago, that, and I've heard different people say these things, the right person for you is not going to incite your nervous system. It will feel calm and it will feel easy and it will feel gentle and it will feel peaceful. And that's exactly the experience that I had when I was purchasing the car. And I remember, and most people will mistake that as being the wrong person because it doesn't, they've confused excitement as a positive thing.
Yeah.
Excitement and happiness and joy are totally different things.
That's so...
Happiness and joy don't incite the nervous system. Really reflect on that. They really don't.
That's interesting. I'm just thinking of like different examples. So like that relationship thing, I like that example a lot. And it should feel peaceful. But then with excitement, I'm thinking of like you're running a 100-meter race and you're excited and your nervous system is getting fired up, so your body's primed and you can perform.
Yeah, but you're about to go into a fight state.
Which is probably better because it means your adrenaline's...
Yeah, and it's okay in those certain situations, but when you're making choices for relationships or major choices in your life to take certain directions, you need to be really attentive to the reactions that your body is telling you, because they're subconscious.
Yeah.
They are subconscious. And especially if you don't have coherence between your mind, body and spirit, the thoughts aren't going to travel up to your mental and tell you that, sorry, this isn't good for you.
Yeah.
You know? So it's very interesting. I think like a lot of people probably might not agree with me in this, but if you do your research on the nervous system, like I'm super, for me at the moment, it's like my guidance system is the reactions that I feel in my body. Because the body just knows. It's like animalistic, it's primal.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Your subconscious, it's like a supercomputer. I read this book, Thinking Fast and Slow, by Daniel Kahneman. He won like some Nobel Peace Prize in 2002 for his brain research and the psychology behind our brain. And we've got these things called it's another word for like the cognitive biases, or like pretty much how our brain takes shortcuts to do things, and how our conscious mind, our neocortex, is like heaps limited, but everything else in your brain, which is the subconscious, is like this mad supercomputer that can input so many different information, like so much different information really quick, and will give you feelings of things before you even think of, oh, maybe this is a bad idea.
Well, the fact of the matter is we only are utilizing 5% of our minds. 5% is the conscious mind, 95% is the subconscious mind. And it's not to say that you can't access more of that, but you've got to do some of the work that you and I kind of undertake in order to access that. You expand your depth of access, essentially.
Yeah, I don't know if it's 5. I've never studied if it's 5%.
I'm pretty sure it's 5%. So I listen to a lot of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and he's the one that he does a lot of. He is the world leading researcher in neuroscience.
Yeah, right.
So and I've read a couple of his books. So he is essentially saying that for the everyday average Joe who doesn't kind of do much self-reflection or internal work, they're only accessing 5%.
Yeah.
You and I would be different because we do a lot of internal work on ourselves, and our both of our main goals in life is just to, I don't know, reach our full potential.
Yeah.
And through expanding the mind and acquiring, like, I would refer to myself as an explorer and a seeker, but I do that through the internal world. Inner space. I explore inner space every day.
I explore the outer world.
No, but you don't though.
Yeah.
You keep like discounting the fact of all of the inner stuff that you do.
I have done a lot.
You continue to do a lot, bro. You
Yeah,
reflect every day.
It's like it happens like that.
You're action orientated, but you're action orientated internally and externally. You wouldn't be able to make like the progress that you make externally if you hadn't.
I do believe that. Yeah, if I had not gotten rid of if I had not done my introspection, I wouldn't.
Yes, but you continue to do it because you absorb information and you integrate it internally. So stop like rejecting it. You're a whole. There's the outer and the inner, so you need to embrace both to be a unified field of consciousness.
Of course.
Yes. Alright. So I hate when he says shit like that because it's not accurate.
It's weird because my head doesn't register it, eh? So like I'll do a lot of things, or I'll forget that I've done a lot of things, and I'll just be like, oh, this is it now. Like even the position I'm in now, I'm so focused on like just taking steps. Like I'll have steps written, and I'll just take those steps, and as soon as those steps are done, I'll completely forget that I've even taken them.
Wow.
Alright guys, thank you. Do you want to do the outro? Yeah, you can.
Thanks guys. Please like,
comment
and subscribe.
And
we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Bye.